Hi, Loretta, the life coach. I run the website Legally Quirky, and I wanted to come by today and talk to everybody because I am getting married in 3 months. One of my more popular videos was about how I met my mate, so I wanted to talk today about relationships. But before I go on, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you follow me. This way, when I upload new content, especially the exciting stuff coming in June, you'll be the first to know. So I've talked before about how one of the things that happened in order for Jim and I to meet was that we had both kind of prayed and turned it over to God. I think that's true with a lot of law of attraction. You might have an idea in your mind of what you want, and you have to kind of turn it over to the universe to deliver it. However, you still have to take actions in order for, you to find that opportunity or that person. And so we both prayed, thought about what we wanted, and got really clear on what we wanted, but at the same time we still took actions. And so we were both on a online dating website in order to find each other. It's ironic that we lived very close to each other. We had people that we both knew, mutual acquaintances, and yet, we never had bumped into each other. We think that it's possible that we were at a funeral for an attorney in town that we both knew, but we might not have met each other. Timing was truly everything. I also wanted to mention the fact that it was a relief for me to find a man that believed in God and accepts the idea of prayer. There seemed to be a lot of men that I was meeting, which I cover in my book, Say Yes to Yourself. That year that I dated, a lot of guys did not believe in God, or if they said they believed in God, they didn't really act like they believed in God. He was very clear that he was a Christian. He was a man of faith. He believed in God and kind of turned his life over to God and what God had planned for him, which ended up being me. And it was very interesting to hear a man openly say that he prayed. I think a lot of men have this belief that if I say I believe in God and I pray, that somehow makes me a weaker man. And as a woman, I want to assure men that that is far from the truth. I believe very much in God, and it was an important value. It would be a deal breaker if I had been with a man that did not believe in God or a higher power. You have that value system and you believe certain things and you behave in certain ways. I believe in being a good person, not so much because God is watching me and scrutinizing what I do, but just because being a child of God and acting with love towards other creations of God makes me a happy person. And so I try to put out positivity and happiness wherever I go. I also try not to do any harm to anybody. I don't want to do anything that's illegal, immoral, or unethical. And so my life is different than someone that is maybe pursuing money as their only goal. Money is important to have. You need it to buy things, and food prices are going up. But for that to be your be-all, end-all and how you gauge how successful you are, I think you're missing out on something. And so meeting the man that I am going to marry, my future husband, has definitely brought me so much joy. But I had to take certain actions. And so if you read my book, Say Yes to Yourself, one of the things that you need to do is show up authentically. This is not a time to put your best foot forward. Yeah, but you don't want to lie about where you are in terms of your values or beliefs. It's going to come out eventually. Better to be upfront and honest in the beginning so that you don't waste anyone's time. I would hope that you're not so desperate that you're willing to lie about who you are in order to be in a relationship, any relationship. I also think it's really important that you trust your gut instinct. If you meet someone and your gut instinct tells you that there's something about this person that is not safe or not trustworthy, or don't tell that person where you live, have them meet you in a public place. Follow those instincts, trust your gut, and make sure that you're safe. We live in a crazy world. There are so many scams and scam artists out there. Narcissism is on the rise and it's become a very popular buzzword. Not everybody is a full out narcissist, but there are people out there that also have high narcissistic traits, and they are not fully awake yet to who they are and what their life is about. And that's one of the reasons why I created the Say Yes to Yourself workbook. It's a workbook that you can buy from the legallyquirky.com website, and it gives you the opportunity to become clear on some of your thoughts, beliefs, and what your bucket list is. What do you want to accomplish with your life? What do you think your purpose in life is? Because it's very important for you to be clear on yourself, show up authentically, and be honest about who you are when you start dating. If you can't do those three things, your relationship might not last. And again, better to be honest and upfront than waste your time, someone else's time. If there are children involved because they have children from a prior relationship, that can be very unfortunate and dangerous and toxic. And always, you want to do things that bring you happiness and joy and allow you the opportunity to express who you are in healthy ways. I think one of the really big green flags for me when it came to my current relationship is that he was very clear that he did not care about what other people thought of him. He has a certain behavior and value system, and he was going to march according to his own drum. He was not going to follow the crowds. He was not going to follow what's trendy. He was his own person. He felt mature and confident in himself. And that is a very sexy trait. I know that sometimes women are very concerned with outer appearance. There was a time when I was dating where I looked for guys that were a certain height. I changed the height requirement. I changed a bunch of other filters on my online dating. And when I did that, his profile popped up. And I just can't imagine something superficial like how tall someone is or where someone lives. I know I have friends that live in California, and some people insist that they will not date outside of Orange County or Los Angeles County. They have to date someone in their county, and part of that has to do with traffic. But seriously, when you're talking about finding love and finding someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, to think that a county line is going to be the deciding factor is sad. So go beyond the superficial things, dig deep, really get to know someone when you're on that first date. And I do think that there are some questions that are appropriate for first date compared to third date, compared to maybe a fifth date. I would definitely ask someone, to clarify their status. I will warn you, there's a lot of people out there on dating websites that say that they are single and they're actually not. They're still married. They're in the process of a divorce. They might be separated for a long time. And that's fine. People have different processes, and sometimes it does take a long time to get divorced. But my humble opinion, I would not want to date someone until they were actually divorced. Depending on the state that you live in, if you date someone that's still married, it could be looked at as adultery, depending on how that state views and defines adultery and divorce and separation. Former attorney here, so that's why, I get very technical on these terms. I do want to encourage people, if you're interested in the workbook is $2.99. I think it's an excellent place for you to start. If you just got out of a bad breakup and you're kind of like, I keep finding losers, I would really encourage you to spend more time on yourself, loving yourself, and doing some self-care. Now, let me define what self-care is. Self-care can be bubble baths and manicures, but self-care goes deeper than that. Self-care is finding some quiet time and journaling and getting clear about what you want. Again, who are you? What do you want? What kinds of experiences do you want in your life? Do you want someone that maybe makes a lot of money, but they're never around? Do you want someone that lives in a big city and have a very flashy lifestyle, but you're not connected on important issues like whether or not to have children? You really have to figure out what your deal breakers are and what will send you running out of the restaurant or out a back exit in order to get away from someone that is not the right person for you. And they may be the perfect person for someone else. They're just not the right fit for you. So be honest with yourself, be honest and authentic when it comes to how you deal with other people. And by all means, please do not go out and try to get in a relationship because you think you are not whole and complete as a person until you find your soulmate. Now, my future husband is an amazing match for me, but I understand that, God forbid, something was to happen to either one of us, we are still complete, whole individuals, and we will keep going and continue our journey in this life. I know some people, they put everything on their mate, and they expect their mate to be the be all and end all of their lives, and everything is intertwined and they kind of disappear in the relationship. There's no individuals anymore. It's just we. Big advocate for, it's good for you to have your interests. It's okay for your mate to have their interests. And then there's stuff that you do together. You don't have to do everything together and be together all of the time. You might want to spend all the time together, but if I am not interested in hunting and I'm with someone that wants to go and be in a deer stand, I'm going to encourage that person to do that and to fill that need. And again, be your authentic self. Go out there, hunt. Get some deer. Let's make some deer jerky. I'll be involved in the kitchen, but I'm not going to stand in the deer stand unless I want to photograph stuff. And I say a lot. I'm aware of that. I just hope that you all have a wonderful day. Drop by the www.legallyquirky.com website. Check out the blog. Check out the Get Started button and look at the downloads for the $2.99 workbook and then the paperback book that I wrote, which I have been told by readers is very funny and has good tips if you're going to be dating and you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s. I even know some people that are in their 60s and 70s that have read it. And dating nowadays with social media is very different. So no harm in doing a Google search on the person that you're meeting either. That's probably a wise thing to do. See if there are current pictures. Find out, do a background check and find out, are they really who they say they are, or do they have a criminal record somewhere? That could be your deal breaker. Have a great day, and I hope that you, again, click that subscribe button and find some more valuable content on this channel. Thank you.